During Michael Cohen's testimony in front of the House Oversight Committee, he mentioned how one of the things that he was directed to do by Donald Trump was to hide his grades. In fact, I'm gonna give you the quote from his testimony, the relevant quote. "When I say con man, I'm talking about a man who declares himself brilliant, but directed me to threaten his high school, his colleges, and the college board to never release his grades or SAT scores." That was what Cohen said. Now, the update to this story is that Fordham confirms Cohen threatened legal action if Trump's grades became public.
I gotta say it, told you. So I've been on this for a long time, maybe longer than 3 years now, release the transcripts. And why do I care? Because he has lived a life of unearned privilege. And his main selling point is, I'm a winner, I'm so smart, I do great deals. I wrote a book called Art of the Deal, I'm so smart. Hey, I went to Wharton, okay? Now I happen to also go to Wharton, so maybe it's personal in that sense, right? Because he's totally ruined the reputation by being one of the dumbest guys in America, having gone there. But in all seriousness, it shows that privilege and that he never earned anything. And so but the thing that really got me was when he demanded that Obama release his transcripts, not just his birth certificate, but his transcripts. Now, Obama is arguably brilliant. He was the editor of the Harvard Law Review. That means after he got into the Harvard Law Review, he was selected as the top student to be the head of the Law Review, which is the most prestigious thing you could have as a student at Harvard Law. He went to Columbia, he went to Harvard Law. So why does he question Obama? Why? It's so obvious, because he's black. So he's like, yeah, I'd like to see his grades. And I said, no, I'd like to see your grades, you loser idiot. And I knew it. And I told you all along, there's no way he transferred from Fordham to Penn based on good grades. And by the way, another update to this story that we got today is that it turns out, and this existed before I happened to see it today in this context, that yes, a biographer of the Trump family said it was a family friend who went to high school with Donald Trump's dad who interviewed Donald Trump, and that was part of the reason that he got into Penn. I got news for you, it's the only reason he got into Penn. Release the transcripts. Donald Trump is a dummy. I'd be shocked if he ever got a grade above a C. And the only reason they'd give him a C is a pity grade to move him along, because he's a burden on the rest of the class. So think about how deeply insecure you have to be to threaten legal, and in fact, he said in the letters, criminal action against your high school if they release your grades. Pathetic, pathetic. And in the letter to Fordham, he's like, I'll sue you, I'll put you guys in prison if you ever release my grades because I'm a dummy and I don't want anybody to know I'm a dummy. He didn't add that part. But he did add this part. The PS at the end was, by the way, I really liked Fordham when I went there.
Okay. So I want to give you the statement from Bob Howe, who is the spokesman for Fordham. And he says the following: while Trump was campaigning for the presidential election, someone from his team, this is during the election, someone from his team called the university for assurance that it would not release any of Trump's records. Officials confirmed they would not share the records with anyone except for Donald Trump. And by the way, there are federal laws that protect students' privacy. And so it is true that they could face legal ramifications if they leaked his grades to the public.
Leak it right now, leak it.
I mean, I think it would be hilarious. But I'm much more.
There's a million people that work at Fordham. There's a million people who work at Penn. God knows how many people work at his old high school. By the way, he's also afraid of his SAT scores leaking. He probably got a 12 out of 1,600. Okay, so what if you got good scores? Like, for example, I went to Wharton and got good grades, okay? I prefer people who went to Wharton and got good grades. Anyway, so I wouldn't mind at all if you released my transcripts. I wouldn't mind if you found out my SAT scores. Why would you mind if you had good scores? Only a deeply insecure, pathetic little baby would mind if the people found out he was an idiot.
Right, and this whole story, again, reminds me of how the Trump family, members of the Trump family, because of Fred Trump's hard work, and he was a hard worker. He had huge downsides, he had huge flaws, but he was a hard worker and he was a self-made man. But because of his hard work, everyone else in the Trump family has had things handed to them, including Ivanka Trump. And so it just reminds me of the story that we did recently where she felt the need to speak for the working class and the middle class in America and say that they don't want job guarantees. They don't want an increase in minimum wage, as if she would know, someone who's never had to work for tips, who's never had to work for a wage in her life.
You know what, I just remembered, and I'm not positive about this, and again, our members could probably find this somewhere. I believe that I'm doing myself a disservice here. I don't think it's 3 years. I'm pretty sure that I was on MSNBC when I was anchoring there when Trump demanded to see Obama's transcript way before he started running for president. That was about 7-8 years ago now, right? And I said that was deeply racist. And I remember people at MSNBC raising an eyebrow like, ooh, can you call someone racist for that? Yeah, I can, and I did, and I was right. So hashtag, I'm telling you, spread this all across social media. Hashtag release the transcripts. And so it's not just that he's an idiot and unearned privilege, it's that he didn't deserve to get into those schools. And so expose him for what he is, a total fraud. Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.